4. Is there a new definition for delinquency? I was a witness in a trial in a Midwestern state. On trial were the children of some families belonging to the old order of Mennonites. They were on trial for juvenile delinquency, although none of them had committed a single criminal offense. Their only crime was attendance at a Mennonite school. The school refused to submit to state controls which they rightly believed were humanistic and alien to their faith. As a result, the children were in court for the so-called crime of truancy. The defense attorney asked for dismissal of the charges on the grounds that the state law did not define truancy as absence from a state-controlled or approved school, but simply as truancy from school. Clearly, the children had not been truant from the Mennonite school. All the same, the motion for dismissal was denied, and the trial proceeded. This was not an isolated case. Similar trials have taken place in other states. Some judges have stated that the child belongs to the state, not to the parents. Step by step, the state is claiming more and more powers over the family and its children. The significant facts about all these trials is that it is children who rank among the very best in the community who are on trial. Moreover, the state puts more effort into trying to convict these children than it sometimes does with criminals and real delinquents. The state seems to consider it a more serious offence to stay out of a state school than to endanger life and property. The state's power structure is affected every time a child leaves a state school for a Christian school, and this is the real offence. Again and again, trials have shown that Christian schools provide at least as good an education, and in virtually every case, far better schooling than do the public schools. They produce better educated, more moral, and more resourceful graduates. In terms of comparison, the Christian schools clearly excel. Court-ordered testings have shown this. However, there is a serious problem with Christian schools. They cut the amount of tax funds the state schools can demand, and state bureaucrats hate nothing more than any activity which limits their demand for taxes. For far less money and at no cost to the taxpayer, the Christian school produces a better education. This is its offence. The state schools cannot stand the competition, so they strike back. As a result, Christian schools and churches are on trial all over the country, and their pupils are tried as delinquents. Meanwhile, the state schools produce more and more illiterates. According to federal statistics, 21 million are functional illiterates. Estimates are that 9 million more will graduate as illiterates before long. We have probably never had a higher literacy rates in this country. Does it make good sense to prosecute the schools which do educate, or to take to juvenile courts children who are law-abiding and are guilty of nothing, save attending a Christian school? States and federal agencies are forcing control upon us. Will you choose freedom